What's up, SnEaKyNation? SnEaKy here, back with all the news after Week 8 in year number 3 of our 49ers franchise, where the 49ers picked up a big victory over a division opponent in the Los Angeles Rams. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons, but let's go ahead and take a look at some highlights. Austin Seferian-Jenkins over the middle early on, then on 3rd down and 9, it's going to be Jarrett with the interception for the Rams there. They will take over the ball on 4th and 3. It is Blair Walsh off the crossbar. That is no good, and all of a sudden the 49ers have good field position here, and we will see if they can capitalize. It is going to be a handoff to Kirkland Marion. This is later on in the game, though, so Kirkland Marion down the right side of the field. He will take it all the way to the 40-yard line of Rams territory. That would set up this Joel Edison field goal, and the 49ers will get on the board first, 3-0 early on. This was definitely a defensive battle. Eugene Fontenot taking it down into 49er territory. This time, Blair Walsh will connect, and we have a tie ball game, 3-3. Under 7 minutes to go in the second. Later on, under 4 minutes to go, once again, it's Kirkland Marion making a play down the right side, setting up another Joel Edison field goal. 6-3 would be the score. The Rams would try to get down the field before halftime here, and Jared Goff connecting with Thomas on the play, taken out of bounds. And then on 3rd down and 7, Jared Goff on the left side, finding Kenny Britt. However, they would let the time expire, and we would go into halftime. 6-3 would be the score. This is Dimitri Todman on a perfect throw from Austin Schobel, who came into the game for the injured Cody Kessler, but here he is throwing an interception to Tremaine Johnson, and he will take it to the 49-yard line of Niner territory. Then on 1st down and 10, play action, Jared Goff scanning the field down the right side, and bad positioning there by Marcus Gesser. That would set up another Blair Walsh field goal, and we have a tie ball game, 6-6, midway through the third. Later on in the third, Kenny Britt with the reception, and then Blair Walsh would put the Rams on top, 9-6. No team scoring a touchdown, but it's the fourth quarter when the 49ers take over. Willie Snead down the right side of the field, and he will take it to the house, giving the 49ers the lead there. They would go on top with the 63-yard touchdown, 13-9 over the Rams. The 49ers were not done yet, though. Down the right side, again, it's going to be Dimitri Todman this time. He will take it to the house for another 49ers touchdown. They would go on top 20-9. But they are still not done. This was a fourth quarter of big plays for the 49ers, and Austin Seferian-Jenkins wants to get involved. Nobody going to catch the tight end. He will take it to the house as the 49ers went on top 27-9 in the span of just short. It wasn't even a full quarter. Just 11 minutes into the quarter, the 49ers really playing outstanding in the fourth. On 4th and 10, Jimmy Ward flagged for the pass interference there as the Rams start moving the ball down the field. Eugene Fontenot with the carry on 1st down and goal. Jared Goff looking for the end zone, and he will find Thomas on the play. So the Rams finally finding their way into the end zone. It is a little too late, though. The 49ers will recover the onside kick. We will see a few carries, and eventually Kirkland Marion picking up the 1st down, and the 49ers picking up the victory, moving to 6-1 on the year. Next up, we have the 3-4 Atlanta Falcons. This is a team that was in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. Still a very good team. Plenty of weapons on offense. Defensively, not as good, but here we are seeing what Austin Schobel can do. We got to get him some practice because Cody Kessler did go down with that injury, and this is going to be Austin Schobel's first career start. And it's going to be on the road in a hostile environment, so we'll have to see if he is going to be able to live up to the hype of where he was selected and see if he can actually take over and do some good for this 49ers team. But they are definitely going to be missing Cody Kessler, and it's going to be interesting to see how this team responds without him. That is a big blow to their team. Our press question, first one coming from Eli Treadway. They say a team's identity changes every season. How would you say your team's identity has changed? First and foremost, I think our defensive game has gotten a lot better. We're still inconsistent in pass defense, but our run defense from last year to this year has completely changed, and that has helped us out a lot. We're also seeing a lot less turnovers on offense. I think that's one better quarterback play, but also we're throwing short passes. We're just trying to live within what we are capable of doing instead of trying to do too much. The second question is coming from Hunter Henry. Are you planning on playing or improving the rookie middle linebacker? And we are. Forsey is a player that we think very highly of, and we're very happy to have him on board. Right now, we do feel like we have better players ahead of him, and we do feel like we can bring him along slowly. Forsey is a guy we do need to get more involved, and he does play in certain situations on defense for us, but ultimately he's probably a player that won't be playing a whole lot this season unless of an injury, but we do feel very hopeful about his future as a 49er. Let's go ahead and check out some of the scores from around the NFL. First up, we have the Cowboys with a 35-20 victory over the Eagles. The Cowboys get their second win of the year, only 2-5, really a step down from the 9-7 they went last year. The Eagles now at 3-4 on the season. They went 7-9 last year, really looking to take the next step. It hasn't quite happened for them yet, but they do feel bright about their future. They made some good selections. Ono Gayton is a short wide receiver for the Cowboys who has been absolutely killing it this year. Keep an eye on this guy. He got a touchdown in this game. He's been playing very, very well for them. Interceptions, we are going to have one by Scandrick, one by Byron Jones. Fumbles, what do we got over here? And a bunch of fumbles forced. Only one is going to be recovered by the Eagles. 24-21, the Bills with a victory over the Bengals in this one. The Bills improved to 5-3 on the year. The Bengals falling to 3-5. Bills went 10-6 last year. The Bengals went 8-8. Again, they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and since then have really not looked that good. They missed the wild card barely last year with an 8-8 record, but starting off 3-5 this year is not where they want to be. Plenty of season to still turn it around, but they have got to get their act together shortly here if they would like to find their way back into the playoffs. Interceptions, one by Brown, one by Church. Fumbles, we are going to have 0 fumbles in this game. 28-20, the Steelers with a victory over the Ravens. The Steelers now at 5-2 on the year, and Philip Rollins getting extended time in this one. Roethlisberger might have gone down with an injury, and that could be a big blow to this Steelers offense. They have the best offense in the NFL, plenty of weapons, and Rollins, if I'm not mistaken, was a first-round selection for the Steelers, kind of grooming him behind Roethlisberger, but maybe forced into the limelight a bit early here if Roethlisberger went down with an injury. They did have the best record in the NFL last year at 12-4. Currently at 5-2, still playing well, but we'll have to see how long Roethlisberger is going to be out for. The Ravens now at 1-7 on the year, just not getting it done right now, and changes definitely need to be made there. 30-24, the Packers with an overtime victory over the defending Super Bowl champion Saints. Obviously, they look very different with Kirkland Keaton there at quarterback. He actually outthrew Rodgers on the day, but he also had more turnovers as well. The Packers are now 5-2 on the season. The Saints currently sitting at 2-5, just not going well with the decision to move on from Drew Brees. I greatly questioned it, and they have a lot of faith in their quarterback, but it's just not paying off for them at this moment. And it looks like they are probably going to miss the playoffs unless they drastically turn their season around. Shields and Clinton-Dix with the interceptions on the day. No fumbles taking place though. 24-7, the Bears with a victory over the Jets. The Bears now 6-2 on the year. The Jets at 0-7. And Antoine Street, another outstanding game by this rookie quarterback. And I think it's safe to say the Bears have their franchise quarterback, but they might end up having one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Antoine Street is having himself an outstanding season right now and is definitely a player to keep an eye on. Lee would lead the way in tackles, sacks. You're going to have 3, or actually 2 by the Bears. I think 2 by the Jets as well, unless I misread that. 3 interceptions, fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. 1 by Will Hill. The other one would not be recovered. 28-7, the Redskins with a victory over the Giants. The Redskins now at 4-4 on the season. The Giants now at 4-3. Denton Ritchie getting a little bit of time there, but through 0-2 in this short amount of time, we're really not seeing a whole lot from him. Pont Brade for the Giants, still playing quarterback due to injuries. He's been okay considering. I think he's like a mid-60 overall. He's been playing very well, but it's just not going to happen for the Giants today. They need to get one of their other quarterbacks, whether it be Allred, their first-round selection, or Eli Manning. Interceptions, Capel and Norman making the plays on the day. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. 2 fumbles recovered by Dior and Irving on the day. Next game, 37-31, the Colts with a victory over the Texans. And let me tell you, the Colts are getting their act together, and it starts with Andrew Luck. 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Colts are now 4-4 on the season. whereas the Texans are now at 4-3. And look at T.Y. Hilton, 13 catches, 178 yards, and a touchdown. Bethel, the rookie, a solid game. Torrey Smith with 94 yards. So this is a Colts team that really struggled last year. They went 2-14. And I couldn't really figure out why. They were a solid team. They started off really bad this year, but since then, they're starting to get a winning streak going here. And this could be a team to keep an eye on if they start to get hot like we saw today with Andrew Luck playing absolutely outstanding. McKinney forced 2 fumbles. He did recover 1. Clowney recovered the other. 30-27, the Broncos with a victory over the Raiders here. The Broncos now 6-1 on the year. The Raiders are now at 4-3 on the season. And the Broncos just continue to play well. They have 2 great quarterbacks. They don't even have 1 great quarterback. They have 2. One in Paxton Lynch, one in Zach Lindsey. Paxton Lynch obviously been the main guy here this season. You saw Kadu get 2 touchdowns there, a rising young wide receiver for them. Mario Edwards with a sack and a half. Interceptions, nothing going on there. Fumbles, and we are going to have 2 fumbles forced, neither of which would be recovered. 28-7, the Seahawks with a victory over the Cardinals. The Seahawks now 5-3 on the year, but once again, Russell Wilson struggling. That is 10 interceptions by Wilson over the last 3 games. Unbelievable, but they ended up winning 2 of those games. The Cardinals now at 3-4, the Seahawks again at 5-3, but you know, they're not really getting great quarterback play by Russell Wilson. It's really more their defense stepping up right now. If Russell Wilson can kind of settle down, this could be a Seahawk team that is going to be very difficult to beat without their quarterback making so many mistakes. Interceptions, we are going to have 4 on the day. Buchanan, Wagner, Sherman, and Christian. And then fumbles, let's check out what took place in this one. I see 1 fumble forced and recovered by Michael Bennett, 1 by Peterson. It would not be recovered. 27-20, the Chiefs with a victory over the Browns. The Chiefs now at 5-3 on the year. The Browns now at 1-6. Houston Church nearly 300 yards, but he threw 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Really does not seem to be taking that second step as a second-year player right now. And the Browns are continuing to struggle. Again, they went 4-11-1 last year. They're 1-6 this year. They do have their quarterback of the future, so it's really just building the team around him right now. I think the Browns could probably stand to find a few more weapons, but their defense has really dropped off from what we saw in year number 1, and I think that's something they have to look at as well. They're allowing a lot of points throughout the season at the moment. Next game, 28-24, the Panthers with a victory over the Falcons. The Panthers now at 4-3 on the year. The Falcons at 3-4, so a division game and one that could have big playoff implications. You know, we saw earlier that the Saints are struggling, and it doesn't really look like the Panthers or the Falcons are playing all that great either. The Bucs game is next. We'll see how they are doing. But as of right now, the Panthers 4-3, Falcons 3-4, the Saints are 2-5. Nobody within this division really stepping up just yet. So even though we talked about the Saints struggling earlier, they're not even out of it yet. They could very easily get back into this. Look at DJ Vance, a second-year pro, 2.5 sacks on the day. Interceptions, we are going to have 1 by Thomas Davis Sr. against his former team that let him go in free agency. He came to play today. And then Kuechly forcing a fumble and recovering it. 24-10, the Vikings with a victory over the Bucs. The Vikings now at 4-4 on the year. The Bucs now at 3-4. So currently leading the division is the Panthers with a 4-3 record. Just not looking good with that division right now. And certainly up for grabs. It's going to be interesting to see which team steps up and takes over. Receiving the ball in this one, and Diggs, a solid game. 8 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown there. Wharton going to have a touchdown, the rookie. So another nice playmaker there for their offense to utilize. Golston would lead the way with 10 tackles, sacks. You got 3 by Linval Joseph on the day. Thornton, another rookie for the Vikings, having a solid game there. Williams, Rhodes, and McCauley going to have the interceptions. Fumbles. 2 fumbles forced, neither of which would be recovered. Dak Prescott, NFC Offensive Player of the Week, 20 of 27, 4 passing touchdowns for him. Clay Matthews, 12 tackles and 3 sacks. McKinney, 7 tackles, a sack, 2 fumbles forced, and a fumble recovered. And then, of course, Andrew Luck, 37 of 47, 450 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. And he is really starting to turn his season around. Definitely a guy we are going to have to keep an eye on. Scouts were there for both quarterbacks, but only Casey Engler impressed NFL scouts. They don't actually tell me who the other quarterback was. A little bit disappointing. We don't really need a quarterback, but we'll probably scout him anyway just because he's a draft story. I don't think there is actually another one. We already saw the Gant Pennington one. So here's Casey Engler out of LSU. Great accuracy, not great throw power, though. That is something I typically like to have. Jackson Moreland, a fullback, projected to go in the 4th round here. Solid looking player. I don't think we're going to take a fullback, but I just saw a fullback in the 4th round. Javonte Manning, a wide receiver out of LSU, another LSU player. Kind of a slot guy, hoping he has some speed with that 5'9" height. Then Andrew Mack, great catch in traffic, but spectacular catch is non-existent. Dontarius Meeks out of Syracuse, good catch in traffic. Spectacular catch, not all that bad, but really not projecting well for a wide receiver. And this is a guy projected to go late 2nd round, but talent, they're saying undrafted. And then you have Patrick Ratcliffe out of Nevada. This guy actually looks pretty solid here. Might end up being a good player. Not that we really need a wide receiver, though. Matt Ryan at quarterback here. Thomas Bobo, the 2nd-year pro out of Nebraska, going to be the backup. And then Nick Foles, 3rd string. At running back, Devontae Freeman. They also have Lynn Lowry out of Oklahoma. Then Patrick DeMarco at fullback, wide receiver. Julio Jones, Traymon Eubanks. And again, this guy looked outstanding in his rookie year. They also have Mohamed Sanu as well as Hardy. Vance McDonald, the former 49er, with Hooper and Heller there. Then Matthews at left tackle, left guard, Levitre. A pretty solid offensive line. Alex Mack at center. One of the better offensive lines we have actually seen, so Devontae Freeman might have himself a good game, but the 49ers run defense, as we said earlier, has really been very solid. Falcons on defense, not a very good defensive line, but they do have playmakers. They have Vic Beasley Jr. at linebacker. They also have Thomas Davis Sr., who we just saw get an interception in that last game, and then Desmond Trufant at corner. So they do have playmakers on defense, but overall, they have a lot of holes on defense as well, so we are going to have to look to take advantage of that. Malcolm Sparks, 78 overall rookie out of Tennessee, for whatever reason is not starting for them. They do have Neal at strong safety, though, another guy that we do need to keep an eye on. But that is going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. Oh, wait, yeah, let's look at our injuries really quick. DeForest Buckner out for 2 more weeks. Cody Kessler out for 5 more weeks. That is a long time to go without Cody Kessler. And a big blow to our offense. We'll have to see if Austin Schobel can step up, but that's a significant amount of time for him to miss. And then for the Falcons, Coleman is going to be out with an injury. They have Devontae Freeman. They should be okay. And then Pudzier, if I pronounced that correctly. He is done for the season, though. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you guys in Week 9 as we take on the Atlanta Falcons. Later.